I mean, weirdly, as obvious as it seems, you have to understand as a business person that in almost all cases, there's a few exceptions, but in almost all cases, you're mostly interested in the data, not the program. You know, it's the data about the sepsis. You don't really care how you got it or which program or how many pipelines or any of that stuff. You know, both somebody trying to help somebody who's got an infection, or a regulator who's trying to look over your shoulder and say, why didn't you intervene sooner, or whatever they ask. I don't know. It's about the data. And yet we try and solve the problem with programs. And until you recognize that we got it backwards, I don't know that we're going to make much progress.
Well, isn't this just a function of the fact that, oh, that sounds like a computer thing, let's hand it to IT.
Yeah, exactly.
And IT doesn't really understand the business. So IT
Yep.
can go, oh, well, I understand ones and zeros, so I will deliver the tools, and then you make up the rules. And I have been hearing more and more about the line of business controlling the budgets, like, and IT now is becoming the stewards, the guards, and they're doing a good job of that. But unfortunately, software vendors are still forced to kind of come through the IT door. And as soon as you talk to the line of business, they punch you over there and say, well, get through them first, because I don't want to have to learn the technology. So isn't that a bit of a disconnect?
Interesting that there's a little bit of hope now, from, I don't know when it was, must have been about the year 2000 to about the year 2010, seemed to be the height of outsourcing, where so many large companies had just turned over their IT department wholesale to some third-party vendor. And what that did is made it even more unlikely that business could drive change, because you're one degree even further removed. And, there's all kinds of contractual and budgetary things that kind of kept the status quo in place. But our observation is more and more of our clients have reversed that nowadays. I'm not seeing outsourcing nearly as much as we used to, which is good. And as you suggest, the line of businesses are starting to take over the budget again. In fact, even though it's a buzzword, it's a useful one. This whole idea of digital transformation. I mean, that's, if there ever was a buzzword, but what it is doing is providing the line of business an excuse to take over IT functionality.